Alright my fellow agents, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and one request I've been getting here at the channel for months now is to put together a few different tank builds that I love to use on a regular basis regardless of what I'm doing in the game. Therefore today my friends, I'm going to highlight not only my go-to tank build, but I'm also going to show you a few different variations depending on if you want to try something different, or you may not have certain items I highlight in the initial build. That way you do have the option of putting something else together that I can promise will still get the job done. Now, as always, we're going to jump right into the details, and if you happen to enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It truly helps the channel out. And if you want to stay up to speed on all things Division, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button as well. Now, starting with the specialization, I've chosen Technician for a few main reasons. First of all, you get that extra skill tier. You also get an extra 12% damage to drone skill proxies and robotics. And if I'm using this build on Legendary difficulty in the Summit, that definitely helps out. You also have access to the Artificer Hive, and that is going to increase your shield efficiency and duration. And if you do not know how it works, thankfully it's very simple. When you're running as a solo player, you have it holstered, you will get the benefits, and if you're running in a group, you can put it on the ground, and as long as your teammates are within the radius, they will get those benefits as well. Last but not least, my friends, I want to once again remind you that you need to make sure you have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. And the main reason I mention this in every build video I post is because a lot of us out there use the same template for different builds. You don't switch the weapons and you're leaving weapon damage on the table, and you do not want to make that mistake. Now for this first version, the primary weapon is the Chameleon. Now in my opinion, this is one of the most underrated exotics we have in the game. You can see it has the talent Adaptive Instincts. Hitting 30 headshots grants 20% crit hit chance and 50% crit hit damage for 45 seconds. Hitting 65 body shots grants 90% weapon damage for 45 seconds as well. Last but not least, hitting 20 leg shots grants 150% reload speed for 45 seconds. Now the good news is that you can have all three of these bonuses running at the same time, and the other part is that for a lot of players out there, let's say your aim is kind of, not that great. Just knowing that even if you miss some of those headshots, you wind up hitting the NPC center mass, let's say 70-80% of the time, you're going to get that middle damage bonus, which is absolutely insane. Now making our way to the gear itself, you can see we're running 4 Foundry, the Overdog's gloves, and 1 piece of Bellstone. Starting with the mask, it's the first of 4 pieces of Foundry Bulwark. We're running 4 so we get all of the gear set bonuses. The 2 pieces 10% total armor, 3 pieces 1% armor regen and 50% shield health, and 4 pieces makeshift repairs. Whenever you or your shield take damage, 25% of the amount is repaired to both over 10 seconds. Continuing on to the body armor, it's the 1 piece of Bellstone. That's going to give us an additional 1% armor regen, and we are using the talent Intimidate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. Next we have the holster and the knee pads, 2 more pieces of Foundry, and you will notice I am going to stack protection from elites as well as crit hit chance and or crit hit damage everywhere I can. Right after that we have the gloves, and we are using the Overdog's gloves. If you don't have these, I will leave a link to a video showing you the best way to farm these things in the video description down below. They have the talent weakest link, and that is going to amplify weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemy currently in combat as per the tier hierarchy. Last but not least, we have the backpack, 4th and final piece of Foundry. And because we are wearing a Foundry bag, we have access to the talent Process Refinery, and that increases makeshift repair speed from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, and I promise that can definitely save your ass time and time again. As far as the skills are concerned, for this version of the build, I'm using the combination of the Artificer Hive and the Crusader Shield. That now takes us to the second build I'm going to be highlighting, and what I've done is the following. Switch the backpack to the Ninja Bike, and I've also switched the body armor and the holster to 2 pieces of Brazos. Now most of you know exactly how the Ninja Bike works. It has the talent Resourceful, slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a gear set's bonus. That simply means even though we're only wearing 3 pieces of Foundry, we do get the 4-piece bonus, which is what we're targeting. Now when it comes to the body armor and holster combination, you do have this option. You also have the option of using a Unit Alloys body armor as well as the Salvo holster. That's another great combination. However, the reason I've chosen this version is because with the holster, we are using Picaro's holster, and that basically gives us 3 cores with this build. You're going to get that armor core, you get that extra 10% weapon damage, which is, by the way, the max. It used to be 15, it was reduced a long time ago. And you also get that extra skill tier. Last but not least, my friends, third and final build, we have done the following. We're Going back to 4-piece of Foundry, we're using the Unit Alloys body armor as well as Unit Alloys gloves. And you can also see I've changed my primary weapon to the Kingbreaker. Now, one of the benefits about choosing the Technician specialization is that when you have that equipped, you also have access to something called the Linked Laser Pointer. And when you put that on any long-barreled weapon, it is automatically going to pulse every single enemy you target. And as you can see, this has the Talon Perfect Flatline. And that is going to amplify weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. Now, in order to have access to the linked laser pointer, you need to activate the rifle in your weapon skill tree when you are setting up your specialization. So make sure you do that, my friends. Now, another great option for your primary weapon is the Lexington if you have it. Now, that is going to put out more damage. It has a higher RPM as well. Even though it doesn't have the perfect Talon Flatline, the regular Talon Flatline, I promise, will still get the job done. Making our way to the body armor, it's the first of 2 pieces of Unit Alloys. Having 2 equipped is going to give us an extra 5% rate of fire and 20% assault rifle damage bonus, and I'm using the Talon Spotter. And that is going to amplify total weapon and skill damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. Again, my friends, that is every single enemy you target because of that linked laser pointer equipped to your weapons. Last but not least, as far as the skills are concerned, for this build, what I'm going to do is keep the Crusader Shield, but I'm going to switch the skill to the Assault Drone, and the reason for that is simple. We have the Talon Spotter on our body armor, so we're going to be getting that extra 15% skill damage to all enemies that are pulsed. Hope this video helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and a few final thoughts. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. I hope you're doing well on this fine day. All right, I need to make this portion of the video very quick because the family is waiting for me to once again go to Costco. I swear, we go there so much, dude. So much. Anyway, in the gameplay footage you're looking at, I want to mention 2 things. First of all, I'm using the first build I showed you, the one with the overdogs. And secondly, I do not have any global modifiers or global events active, and the reason for that is I want to ensure that whenever you see this build, you know exactly what it can do without any special events. But having said that, if you happen to catch this video and you're watching it within the first 48 hours of my posting it, we are in the middle of a global event called Assault. It's one of the best ones we've seen in the game. I strongly recommend turning the event on. You're going to absolutely decimate everything in front of you, so it's a lot of fun. It's a great time to farm as well, earning stars, buying different caches, all that good stuff. Finally, when it comes to tank builds, always remember you do not want to sacrifice too much weapon damage for survivability depending on what difficulty you're playing on. Now for me, if I'm doing Legendary in the Summit, like I said previously, I will definitely take advantage of one of these builds because you need that extra survivability because the NPCs really hit hard. But if I'm playing on Heroic, honestly, I would probably sit around 1.3 million, armor if that, because you don't need 1.8. So at that point, I would much rather spec into more weapon damage than armor, and again, it goes back to what I say in every build video. Remember, this is just a template. Take your time, make a build your own. That's all I got for this video, my fellow agents. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.
Malfunctioning. High-risk target detected. System reactivated.